I'm Alvin, this is Muddy, and we're with GP Off-Road. Today we're going to go through and talk about all the parts and pieces that we've thrown at this Jeep to kind of create what we call Muddy. And we'll go through a couple of the ways that we're trying to achieve the similar build with Junkie, our junkyard parts build that we talked about last time. So sit back and let's go through some parts. So when we first started the Muddy build, we had a 2007 four-door JKU Rubicon. It was moderately built. It was on 37s, aftermarket suspension. It's like a 2.5-inch lift, aftermarket bumpers, front and rear, and the Warn winch. We were gonna do a light build, and the more we talked it through with Mark, he decided that every time he's done this with motorcycles, he builds it out a little bit, and then shortly after, he redoes it. We ended up flying out to California and meeting with Genrite to kind of go over the full list of parts. Kind of went back and forth with them a little bit before, and then we got out there and kind of picked and pulled all the aluminum parts that we could get on this thing, and it's quite the machine. Our current shop build that we're working on, that our previous video is on Junkie, the goal is to try to create something similar to this, but with a little bit less budget. Not everyone can throw all the parts at every Jeep, so we're trying to come up with a everyman's JKU that maybe it won't be quite as capable as this one, but shouldn't be too far from it. Those 43 Mickeys should help a little bit too. After we got back from California, we threw a set of pit bulls on here from one of our buddies and took it out and did a little testing before Nick started to tear it apart. With the Genrite kit, it seemed like the easiest thing to do was to pull the body and tear it down to the frame. After Nick cleaned everything up and got all the brackets installed from Genrite, we got all the rest of the parts test fit. Then we tore everything apart. We resprayed the chassis and sent the body out to a local shop to do the color change to make it match Mark's Sprinter van. And after Nick got it all back together, Mark wheeled it in this configuration for a couple of years out in Colorado. And now he's ready for a little bit bigger motor. So we brought it back to Illinois and took it apart and started a motor swap. As you can see, we're running a full carbon fiber hood on this one. We left the center section carbon, painted the exterior. Pretty tight in here, but we do have a LS3 from Jegs. We're running the Phytech fuel injection system. We've got PSC steering, the dual ARB air compressor. See our switch pros tucked back in there. Running a anti-gravity battery. This vehicle does sit out in Colorado quite a bit, so it's a good backup in case trickle charger doesn't keep up. Running the Genrite aluminum front bumper. We've got the Factor 55 hook as well as their Fairlead mount. Running the Warn Xenon 8. Suspension, we've got the King coilovers, Genrite inner fenders as well as their aluminum fenders. We've got the King bumps, Genrite steering. Behind that is that Curry axle. Running Warn hubs, 5-bolt pattern. Got the Genrite rock sliders, which have obviously seen some use. Got those BFG KM3s in a 39 wrapped on Method bead locks. There again, those rings have seen some rocks. Running the Kings that do have the quick adjusters. They're 2.5s. The Genrite sway bar kit, as well as their full aluminum tank, that rear Curry back here. Genrite's rear aluminum bumper. Then underneath, running Summit Machine control arms, JE reel, drive shafts front and rear. Got the engine skid from Genrite as well. Running PRP limit straps, that PSC steering up front, the aluminum skid plate from Genrite as well. Open up the back, the best top. You can see what we've done back here in the back. So originally on this build, we had a full-size 40-inch spare on a slide-out, tip-out tire carrier. It really obstructed the views and left no room for any type of storage when you're out on the trails. So we came up with this idea where we've got the Genrite rack for tool storage and cooler and things like that. And then we have a 37-inch spare. It's on a rough country fridge freezer tire mount, fridge freezer mount that we've turned into a tire mount. It does allow us to fit that 37. So we've got a spare, slides in and out. Gives us a pretty nice storage area in the back. There was a little bit of trimming required. Nick had to cut out the back of the tailgate, but that's not the first cut that we had to make on this one, so probably should be all right. So the interior is far from stock. When we came in and we did the LS swap, we changed out the cluster, put a back piece of aluminum in, put the IQS3 in, replaced the steering wheel with a PRP. We got the full Genrite cage. We've got lights wired into the door switches. We're running Simpson seats, front and rear. Running a turbo 400 for the transmission, Atlas 2-speed for the transfer case, heated seats, just installed cup holders, and this is our custom aluminum center console that we drew up and had sent out and cut at Oshcut. We have storage in there. We just replaced the head unit with this unit from Stinger. We've got 4 cameras on it. We've got one facing forward. We've got one rear. We've got one that shows the passenger side front tire. And then we have one underneath that kind of shows what's going on underneath while you're wheeling. We also installed a Switch Pro on this. We've got our front and rear E-lockers as well as our ARB compressor. We've got a light bar up top for those KCs. We've got bumper lights. We've got the start button, and we've got those are labeled reverse lights, but we're running lock lights on this one as well. Interior is pretty decked out. We've got a oh crap handle for the passengers. We've got RAM mounts for phones. Mark runs a GPS in this as well on a Garmin. Kind of finishes up the driver and passenger portion of this. So the big question is, where are we going to save the money on Junkie to create something to be an everyman's build? For the cage, we're going to be going with a moto-built cage rather than the Genrite cage. We're also going to be utilizing moto-built steel bumpers in lieu of the aluminum bumpers. For shocks, rather than running a King shock with a bump stop,
we're going to be running ORIs, which everything's integrated, so it's just one less thing to have to buy. For the suspension, rather than using the GenRight suspension, we're going to be utilizing Barnes parts to kind of create a custom suspension. For the motor, we're going to be using a Junkyard LS as well as transmission and transfer case instead of doing a brand new LS3 Turbo 400 in Atlas. For the axles, we're going to be using Junkyard axles out of a 05 and up Super Duty. For the interior, it'll still be kind of cut down and bare minimum. We'll be utilizing Jegs seats rather than the Simpsons. This should get us a big chunk of the budget knocked down. For the tires, we've got a set of those 43 Mickeys. We bought those used on Marketplace. Someone started a mock-up build on it, and they've never been used, and they are on Spider-Track speed locks. That helped the budget a lot as well. For a full list of parts on both of these builds, head over to gpoffroad.net. We've got a list of all the parts and components that we're going to plan to use on Junkie, as well as all the ones that we used on Muddy. We've also got a merch tab. Head over, check it out. Thanks for watching.